everyone, and welcome to Listeners Beware, a podcast about all things Goosebumps. My name is Gary.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're talking about book number 7. Hold on,
It's book 6, actually. It's okay. It's okay. We're talking about book 6.
Yep.
Let's Get Invisible, also known as The Freaky Mirror.
The Freaky Mirror.
Okay. Nobody calls it that but me, but whatever. I'll speak it into the universe.
It's an apt title.
So, Let's Get Invisible, first published in March of 1993. Tell us about the book, Goosebumps, Gary.
Disappearances can be deadly. On Max's birthday, he finds a sort of magic mirror in the attic. It can make him become invisible. So Max and his friends start playing, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, until Max realizes that he's losing control, staying invisible a little too long, having a harder time coming back. Getting invisible is turning into a very dangerous game. The next time Max gets invisible, will it be forever?
Oh no, say it ain't so.
I love these descriptions.
Me too. I feel like the person that wrote that was having so much fun.
I was having fun reading it.
As you should. As you should. You read them so well.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So Max and his mirror.
Yes.
His freaky mirror.
His freaky mirror.
So this is a game of now you see me, now you don't, but it's not a magic trick. This is for real. They're going invisible.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty wild one.
Yeah, just a little bit. I would say this is the first book where I actually felt like I was holding my breath and there was a lot of tension. Every time one of them was testing it and the timer's going, like RL did a really good job of making you aware of the timer and the clock and like what is the limit. And so you're freaking out and it's like, hurry up, pull the string.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, as usual, you have an obnoxious sibling who just doesn't listen. So we've got Noah Lefty Thompson, which is unfortunate because as a fellow left-handed person, I'm just like, come on, Noah. We are not all that obnoxious. Do not give us lefties a bad name. But he did. Did anybody that's read that, did anybody else want to punch that kid?
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
Square in the nose. I mean, he doesn't listen. And it's beyond not listening.
Mhm.
Like, he's whiny, he's obnoxious, he doesn't listen, and he knows the danger that he's getting into, but still continues to do what he's not supposed to by staying in the mirror longer and each time, or staying invisible longer each time. And it's just like, at some point I was like, you get whatever's coming to you, kid, and I kind of hope you stay disappeared.
Yeah, and he was breaking all the rules too. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've had some really obnoxious characters, but he might be the most annoying to date.
Yeah, there have been some pretty obnoxious ones, but this is the first one where I was like, I'm fine with whatever happens to you.
I'm not actively rooting for you to die, but if it happens.
Like, if you disappear, like, so be it. It's the casualty of what was going on, and well, it's fine. Can we talk about peer pressure? I feel like in all the books, this is the first one that peer pressure was really like, it was emphasized and strong, and holy moly. It to me, because of the danger that represented each time they played with the mirror, to me, it very much was like peer pressure can get you into dangerous trouble. And here is an example. As unrealistic or fantasy as it is, this is real. Your friends can get you into danger.
Yeah, absolutely. All of the kids except for one make a lot of bad decisions in this book, and they lead each other to make worse decisions.
I feel like Max knows better. And we are given insight into his apprehension towards it and his hesitation. We hear him trying to talk them out of it, but it really is Zach and Aaron that are pushing and driving that aggressive peer pressure to keep playing with something dangerous. April is like, I don't want any part of it. I'm not touching it. I'm not doing it. And they even pressure her into it.
Yeah.
She does it once and she hates it.
Right.
Like, it's but the fact that they even got her to do it, it's like peer pressure really can work like that. And
Hmm.
sometimes all it takes is once.
It's true. So I guess we should start with how they find the mirror. We have Max's another dog in this book.
Whitey, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to touch that, but yeah.
Touch that.
Yeah, his dog is described as a mutt, part terrier, part everything else, and he's entirely black, so they call him Whitey.
Yeah, well, there's that. But okay, let's just have reference. Back then in the 90s, nicknames and dog names and things like that it was a trend to do the opposite of what it was. So if you were, tall, you were called shorty. If you were short, you were called like a giant. Like that was a trend back in the 90s to have a nickname that was opposite of what you were.
Right. Irony ran strong.
It sure did. So we have a black dog named Whitey.
Yes.
He runs into the attic, right? And he's sniffing around. They find a hidden door. Oh my gosh, what's with these hidden doors? And like anyone would do, you open the hidden door to see what's in there, and they find a room empty except for one big old mirror.
They turn the light on, I guess, to look at the mirror better. Well, Max pulls the string and Max goes invisible.
And I like, as any kid would, they all assume he's playing a trick on them. Where'd you go? How'd you do that? Where are you hiding? And he's just like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I like how they all think they're pranking each other. He thinks they're pranking him. We can't see you. And they think that he's pranking them and hiding. So that was kind of funny to see that play out or read that play out.
Yeah. Max pulls the string again. Lights go off. He's back. I mean, okay, let me ask you, would you want to do this? Or would you be the April in this situation?
Oh no, I'd be April. If somebody pulled the string and disappeared, I wouldn't play with that because my questions would be running amok.
Right.
Amok. Like, where do you go? What happens to you? When do you come back? Like, there's so many unknown variables that no, I'd be April. I'd say, nah, I'm good, guys. Would you?
Back then, I would have. Now, I would be probably much more apprehensive about it.
No, I was kind of that kid. And I think I'm still that adult that I'm super cautious. And so, yeah, one might say, oh, you're just afraid. And it's like, hell yeah, I am. Like, you have no idea where you're going. And the fact that they're actually disappearing and whether you can feel them or see, hear them, because they can still hear each other and they can lift things and move things and touch things. So technically they're still kind of there. You just can't see them. They're in like a transitional plane, right? They're not in the mirror world yet, but they're also not in the real world. They've got like a foot in each one. So I don't know, man. Nope, I wouldn't do it.
What if they're where What's-Her-Face was when the camera took her picture and say cheese or die? They're just in this non-existent space. I would like it if the worlds were connected.
And maybe they are like, okay, let's jump forward for just a moment. But when he's in the mirror world, he's seen a lot of figures.
True.
There are a lot of people in there. How do we know they're not people from the camera world too? Like, hello, say cheese and die. Maybe that is where they go. It's a world where all of the different Goosebumps, when people disappear in Goosebumps, that's where they go.
R.L. Stine Purgatory.
Yes.
Stinatory? Stine good?
I know, I was trying to think what's a good play on that. Stinatory.
Sturgatory?
Lurgatory? I don't know. Sturgatory sounds almost like a dinosaur.
It does.
So, no, I wouldn't play that game.
All right, fair enough.
The peer pressure, though, was interesting. Now, here's my thing with Max, though. He knows this is going on with the mirror. He's apprehensive. He doesn't want them to play with it, and he thinks it's dangerous. Why the heck didn't he just break the mirror? Like, I think about that, like, how urgent he thought it was and how dangerous he thought it was, and yet he just thought by telling them, "We'll stay away," and not inviting them over was going to be a thing. But even with his brother keeps doing it when he's not supposed to, so you know
Mhm.
your brother, your little asshole brother, sorry, but I'm just gonna go there,
Yeah.
isn't listening. Why not just, you know what? Just get rid of temptation.
Yeah, it's true. Unless he just didn't want the 7 years bad luck.
I'd take it rather than disappear or
Yeah,
explain where
right.
your brother went to, because let's be honest, they don't know. They don't
Mhm.
know where they're going to, so,
Right, and no
yeah,
parent's ever
that
gonna
was
believe that
interesting
story.
until they show it to them.
Right.
And once again, we have kids hiding things from parents that probably could have been resolved if they had
Mhm.
just talked to their parents.
Yeah, I see a lot of through lines in this book with the others. There aren't really bullies outside of peer pressure in this one, though. But peer pressure is the ultimate bully. So
Peer pressure is a bully. It causes you to put yourself in danger, so
yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. It was an interesting take, and I do like that that was kind of a theme. Each of his books, I'm sure, have a theme for kids to address
Mhm.
under the guise of horror and tension and goosebumps. And I think this one was it was peer pressure. I
Mhm.
think that was very clearly peer pressure.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, with that said, can we talk about a specific scene where his brother is once again being a jerk
Mhm.
and levitating things at the dining room table? I think, and I could be wrong, back in an original read of this, I could have sworn this led somewhere else, but
Mm.
that might be like, the butterfly effect where I read something else, dimensions changed, timeline shifted, and now that's not in the book anymore. But
Yeah.
with that said, um, I'm crossing into 300 territory. I could have sworn I remember this in the book, but they didn't go there. But part of it was hinted at. So when they're at the table with the grandparents, he very much spends time talking about how sad the grandparents look and how there's something uncomfortable and wrong with them.
Mm.
Now, this isn't just like, hey, they're grumpy or whatever. There was an emphasis on that scene in the sadness and
Yes.
melancholy that the grandparents were experiencing. I
Yeah.
felt like that was there for a reason.
Mhm.
And I think it had to do with the mirror. And I wonder if they lost somebody to the mirror or they experienced that themselves with the mirror. I don't know. Like, what is your take on that?
I wish there were a prequel with the mirror, like there's so many unanswered questions at the end of this book and so much more story that I want. It'd be cool to find out that it was tied to the grandparents.
They were talking about the sadness for a reason.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get a lot of description, right, of the mom and the dad and everybody else, but they really did take some time
Mhm.
to talk about the visual emotions that were playing across the grandparents and the discomfort. And so for me, it was like, why?
Yeah.
Why is he talking about that? And I could have sworn back in the day in my original reading, there was something to do with them losing someone to the mirror, but
Hmm.
it's not in there now. So maybe,
Yeah, someone
butterfly effect. What
someone
is it? The
stepped
Mandela effect?
Oh, Mandela effect. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
S-
Mandela effect. There you go.
Someone stepped on a mirror in another in the past and changed this book.
I think so. Because let's think about that. What would make them sad? Now that we've read the book, reread it, and we know the rules to the mirror, kind of
Mhm.
what happens, how it goes, the pattern, it's not like someone goes in and doesn't come out because the mirror replaces, right? With
Right.
the mirror image replaces the actual person.
Yeah.
So it's not like you would permanently lose someone, they get sucked into the mirror, never to return. It would be more so mirror image takes over.
Mhm.
So then what would make them sad?
I don't know, losing a family member or a friend to the mirror world.
And then knowing that that friend was in the mirror image was now over that person and gone out into the world.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, I wish it had gone more into that. I remember the details of that scene and I thought, "Oh, this is going somewhere." And then it didn't and I kind of forgot until you just brought it up. So, that's huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he drop that in there as like a potential for a sequel.
Hmm.
And like, here's the thread, and maybe it's small enough where it could be just dropped and let go, or it's big enough where the thread can be picked up for like an origin story, a prequel, or something like that to that nature. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I like it. Unfortunately, this is one of the Goosebumps books that didn't get a sequel, and I feel like, or a prequel or something. I feel like it could have gone on uh, with a greater legacy.
Yeah, and I really think that it had something to do with the grandparents
Hmm.
because when they ask about what's all this stuff in the attic, he does say that this is all junk my grandparents left. This house used to be theirs.
Right.
So the mirror was theirs too, which means they had to have known about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why would they leave that for their grandkids to mess with? Like,
Damn it, grandparents.
dang it, rude. So I do think their sadness and that being their house are always dropping a lot of little breadcrumbs for potentially some kind of origin.
Yeah. I bet he knew someday people are going to talk about this on the internet radio, and they're going to dive in deep to these breadcrumbs.
Internet radio. Okay, so they want to play tricks on the school. They want to win science prizes. They want, like, all of these kids have these grand ideas
Right.
of what they can do with this mirror. But each one of them knows that the longer they stay invisible, there's something funny. They know there's a time limit, and yet they keep doing it.
Hmm.
And so, you know what it reminds me of? Or what it reminded me of? Have you watched that movie, Talk to Me Yet? With the hand, the horror movie
Oh, no, no, no,
where they
no.
like, okay, there's a horror movie that came out this year and it's called Talk to Me. And it's basically the premise is there's this hand.
Hmm.
It's like a statue almost, but they say it used to be a real hand. And you're supposed to touch it, hold it, and say, "Talk to me," and the spirits will reveal themselves, or a spirit, one spirit. Now, it'll talk to you, it'll taunt you, whatever. After it reveals itself, then you say, "I let you in," and it takes over your body.
Mm.
And so these kids, and I'm wondering if that was the inspiration for this movie, this kind of Goosebumps idea. These
Yeah.
kids are all playing with it, peer pressure to do it, to let, talk to it, let the spirits take over. And it has a time limit.
Mm.
So they play with the time limit of you can't go more than 90 seconds. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's dangerous. So they're always watching the clock, just like in this, seeing how long they can go, how close to it they can go, and just having like a goofy time with this, even though it is very dangerous. They peer pressure each other into doing it.
Right.
So this very much sounds like
Hmm.
Let's Get Invisible, but in the horror realm and a little bit more amped up on horror steroids.
Right. Right.
And one of them does go over the time limit. And so hence the movie gets a little wacky.
Well, the writer of the movie could be a Goosebumps fan. Maybe they're listening right now. And if you are,
How dare you steal that concept? No, I'm just kidding.
well, I mean, honestly, I think RL stole this from 1990s Flatliners. Like that's,
I was going to say Flatliners.
I kept reading it like, this is Flatliners, right?
Yes, it's Flatliners for kids.
Mhm.
So
What I've always wanted.
right. And I do like that. I do like that he put it in a world that it was still scary. Like, this is scary. What they're doing is scary.
Mhm.
They're disappearing is scary. The funny feeling that takes over the longer they stay invisible is scary. And is someone you're relying on somebody else to bring you back, just
Right.
like Flatliners.
Yep.
And just like Talk to Me.
Mhm.
They have to pull the hand out of your hand.
Hmm.
And so, like the little statue. So whoever's timing it has to also be able to get it out of your hand
Huh.
and to get the spirits to like snap out. So very similar,
Right.
right? Very similar pretenses. And so I think it's scary. You're putting your life, literally your life, in somebody else's hands, even at this kid level.
Mhm.
You're in a mirror, you feel yourself fading, you don't know where you're going to, where you're fading off to, but you know something's wrong and you're hoping someone pulls the light switch.
Yes. Yeah. It's It's a storyline that really works for me.
And it works for a lot of people because
Mhm.
we saw it work with Flatliners. We saw it work with this. We see it working with Talk to Me. I really think you should watch that movie.
Okay. I will.
It's you're gonna watch it and be like, okay, so Flatliners and Let's Get Invisible. Freaky Mirror
Yeah,
met
right.
with Spooky Hand.
Freaky hand.
Uh, Freaky Hand. So yeah, it's an interesting concept that we see can be taken in different directions for different demographics. In this case, we have a freaky mirror.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I like that he's able to identify something's different.
Right.
When he sees Lefty, something's weird. When Zach comes out and he's like, there's something different. And someone else, is it April or somebody else called it out where they're like, didn't your hair part the other way? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
and walks off. So they notice these things. And you
Mhm.
think that would have been his giveaway. I mean, you're playing with the mirror, but I guess when you're in the moment,
Right.
it's hard to grasp what's different.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't know. The idea of mirror dicks coming into our world and just ruining things is pretty wild.
A mirror dick?
Yeah, I said what I said.
Is that like a dick pic?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. No, I choose my words very carefully.
Mirror dicks.
Mirror dicks.
Yes. Which makes me wonder if it's your mirror image.
Mhm.
Is the reflection inherently evil, or is it just because it's a reflection of who you are? So if you put like an asshole in front of the mirror, would you get like the nice version that
Ooh.
comes out?
That would have been fun.
Because then we should just like bring all mean people to the mirror. And,
Right.
like, pull the switch. There we go.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
You go into the mirror world. It's where all dicks belong. All dogs go to heaven, and all dicks go into the mirror world. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Max goes into this trippy mirror world because the switch is not pulled. Because
Yes.
now Aaron and Zach are working together, or we should call them Un-Aaron and Un-Zach.
Nirai and Kaz.
Flipped. Nirai and Kaz. That'll work.
Kaz.
So, or would that mean Nair?
Oh, it would be Nair. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Nair and Kaz, Nair and Kakaz, they go into the mirror world. Or I'm sorry, Nair and Kakaz come out,
Yes.
and they are at this point, and I don't get how April's not completely just, considering she's the voice of reason, how she's not like something is terribly wrong. Like they literally hold Max in front of the mirror and force him into this game, and then they won't pull the switch.
Right.
And it's like, April, what the hell, April? How can you not tell something's wrong? And that is the bullying, right? Like
You're
that
right.
is the bullying there. They literally force him into it, and then they don't pull the switch to bring him back out. So
Mhm.
he's in this mirror world. He's being chased down by Sam.
Right. Sam.
Mirror Max. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, that is good.
He's being chased down by Mirror Max, and he's seeing all these people, which I wonder, like, is he seeing like grandpa's son? Like, I don't know. There's something with the grandparents, but is he seeing something there?
Yes.
And like, he tries to get out.
Mm-hmm. I love the
he-
description of him in the mirror world. Like this was so perfect.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love how Doofuses, we have Doofus 1 and Doofus 2, they pull the light switch too early, so he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dummies.
you have Mirror Max, like, pissed off, banging on the mirror from the inside, like, hey, you pulled it too soon. And we have a hero come in, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens, Gary?
Well, Lefty comes in.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't read this by 90, from 93.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're telling you the end.
Yeah.
So.
If not, pause and come back. So then Lefty appears out of nowhere and smashes the mirror with that baseball. Once again, a left-handed
Hell
person
yeah.
saves the day.
Lefty saves the day. Although I guess he's righty now, so righty saves the day.
Yes, that's right.
And how Max didn't catch that he is holding on for dear life to the door frame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, only the mirror images are being sucked in. So
Right.
how that didn't like trigger him, hey, he's being pulled too.
Yeah.
Something's up. Alert, alert.
Yeah. So I guess we're just a tiny bit cart before the horse there. At the
Hell no.
cliffhanger of the
There's no cart before the horse. We're right on track.
Okay.
Clip, clap, clip, clap.
Clip. Yeah, the plot twist at the end of the book is that Max and Lefty play catch, and he realizes he's playing with his right hand, ergo the righty statement earlier, for those who haven't read the book. But if you haven't read the book, why are you listening? I mean, keep doing it,
Because they
please.
like our voices.
Well, how could they not? Have they heard my reading
Velvet
of
voice scary.
Hello.
Hello. So then why? Why did Righty? Why did Noah throw the baseball at the mirror?
I assume to be the Shadow Lord of the real world. I mean, Mirror Lord of the real world.
Mirror Lord. Because they all seem to have the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
Get as many people flipped, right, as possible. So why would he break the mirror?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because one could say, okay, he thought Max was inside, and so he was trying to kind of end it, right? Like, so Max can't get out. But it's like, or maybe he didn't know by breaking the mirror, it would suck the mirror images back in.
Right.
I don't know, but it's like, if the goal was to flip as many people, then breaking the mirror would not be ideal. That's not the way to go.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Unless there's another mirror.
Ooh, perhaps.
Because the only other thing I could think of is if he walked in, saw Max, the mirror Max, and assumed that was real Max. He didn't realize that was the mirror, so he threw the ball at it, expecting Max to catch it, not realizing, oops, that's the mirror.
Right.
Because normally images aren't presenting itself that way, right? So in the mirror, it's just the reflection. So I don't know if he saw it moving and thought, oh, there's Max catch, and then whoops, that's the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I assume that, yeah, the idea was just to get this mirror posse into our world. And so, yeah, he thought that Max had been transformed, and so he was smashing the mirror. But what about April? What about Lyrupa?
Lirpa. Yeah, what about Lirpa?
Lirpa.
What about Lirpa? I guess, I don't know, because I feel like he didn't do his homework, right? Apparently, intelligence doesn't come in through the shadow world, because he didn't do his homework to see had everybody been transformed yet. I don't know. I really don't know. I felt like that was a half-assed ending, like just to get the book finished pretty quickly and give a resolution and in spooky without actually considering, does that track?
Yeah, I know. And I read somewhere that this is the longest Goosebumps book in the classic line. So maybe he just ran out of time to tell the story.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Now, being that it's the longest book, after having read it, I can't think of any area where I would have said, yeah, you could cut that out. Like every single page this was just a really good story that every word really did support the story. And so it could have been longer. And I think maybe then we wouldn't have had kind of a weird ending with some questions that were like, does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess the flip side of the coin is he just didn't know how to end the story, so he went this way. I mean, I don't know what a more satisfying resolution would be in this case.
I mean, I guess it could have probably almost all played out the same way, except maybe Lefty didn't break the mirror, maybe Max did.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Like,
fair.
they're fighting, they're trying to, drag him back to the mirror, and he breaks it. He kicks the mirror and it breaks. It shatters. Then they get sucked in, and that leaves Lefty kind of behind, right? Because he wasn't there, which works out. And then at the end, playing catch, it's like, oh no,
Mhm.
what happened?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it still could have worked.
That's right. Yeah. That would be better, I think.
Yeah, because that one left more questions than answers when it
Yeah.
came to like how the mirror got destroyed. That was kind of weird. And maybe there is something in there that RL knew that just didn't translate into the writing. Where
Right.
it's like, no, I actually intended it as this, but hey RL, if you're listening to this, could you explain?
Yeah. And we know you are.
we, we know you are. Just like Stephen King is too, because why not?
Why not?
Why not? So then, did you watch the TV episode?
I did.
What did you think? You laugh.
The Canadian accent is out in full force in this one. But
Hey, watch yourself, hey.
hey, I know what I'm talking about. It was good. I actually, as the episodes go, I actually did kind of like this one possibly the most of the ones we've seen. I mean, it definitely takes some liberties with the story. It changes a lot. I mean, there's characters completely missing. And
Like April.
April is nowhere in sight. Yeah.
The voice of reason is not there.
Yeah. Again, it's the same problem that we run into with all of them where there's just 22 minutes and I don't think that's enough time to tell the story as well as RL does in the books. And the episode is pretty tight. Like there's not a lot of space that I thought was wasted, aside from the moment where he's standing there staring at the mirror for like 10 seconds. But what did you think?
Given that it was a long book and long for Goosebumps, and every scene was important to the story because it is such a good story. It's a solid story. I felt like the TV episode felt so simplified and we lost a lot of the story and a lot of the tension because of that. So
Yeah.
it didn't feel as impactful and as intense and as dramatic as the book, and it did lose a lot, in my opinion. Now, Kevin Zegers, I
Yeah.
never know how to say his last name. He is the only person I recognized, and he
Mhm.
played our lovely annoying brother. But I thought he did a great job.
He did.
He's always been a solid actor. I think he did well carrying Noah, and he
Yes.
wasn't as obnoxious as like the book.
That's
So
true.
yeah, that was kind of nice because he did annoy the heck out of me in the book. So I was okay at the end with him being righty. I'm like, yeah, you're cool. It's fine. Leave him out. He doesn't need to be in the mirror.
Right.
I don't know. It was short. It was really, I feel like a lot of the fat was taken out of it. So it's just like, it was like eating a little bone versus like a turkey leg. That sounded weird. I don't know why I made that comparison, but here we go.
It's on the record now.
There we are.
Yeah.
I have food on the brain.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually thought that most of the kids in this weren't too egregious in terms of their acting. But yeah, he was the shining star of the bunch.
The acting was not bad.
No.
I will say that. Like we've had some struggle bus with some of the acting in these episodes, but this episode in terms of acting, no, everyone was decent.
Mhm.
It was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
The acting and the execution wasn't bad in terms of actual technical aspects, but the story was so thin and watered down that it didn't carry the same impact. I would say for me, always read for this one the book over the TV episode, and you're not missing anything if you can't find the TV episode.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is one that could have theoretically been a good two-parter, I think, but for some reason they didn't.
They should have two-parted this, like, that I feel if they could have just incorporated more of what was in the book,
Mhm.
oh, this could have been such a solid, like, 2 parts episode. They could have even done 3 parts, like, let's go for it, let's milk it.
Let's do a whole season of this story.
Hell yes. And bring in grandparents. What happened? Why are they sad?
Yeah. Right?
Why'd you leave the mirror for your kids to get sucked into? Maybe they're the mirror images of themselves and they want mirror image babies, and that's
Oh,
why they're sad.
interesting.
I want my mirror image grandkids because, can mirror images procreate? I feel like they could, right?
Let me look in my mirror image science book and I'll let you know.
But it wouldn't be a mirror image soul. Is that a thing? Are they souls? In which case, oh, that's sad. No wonder they're cranky. They're stuck in the mirror world.
Right? Huh.
I'd be cranky too. Like, let me out.
Right? Yeah.
No wonder I look so irritated when I look in the mirror. There's a little bit of melancholy and anger in my eyes. And I'm like, where'd that come from? I know now.
It's Melon Gary.
Melon Gary.
Melon
It sounds like food.
It does.
So this mirror,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do if you found a mirror like this in your attic and you discovered it could do that? What would you do? Would you keep it? Would you destroy it? Would you turn it over to science? Like, what would you do?
If I tried it once.
Of course.
Because how else would I know, right? If
Of course, yeah.
I tried it once, that would be enough. And
Okay.
I would probably try it once and then get scared and then call the president. I would donate it to science.
If you could call the president at any point in time, how do you have connection to the president? I feel like that call would become way before that. I'd be prank calling the president.
Well, this truth is redacted.
Redacted.
What would you do?
No, honestly, I'd probably just destroy it because you run the risk if it goes to science that mirror image comes back in that science realm, takes over, and then starts just churning people out
Oh, that's true.
and spreading that shadow domination. So shadow people domination. So I would probably just destroy it.
That's probably a better idea.
I'm surprised nobody tried to talk to the mirror.
Right.
Like once, I'm just saying, like, could you write on the mirror? Because it could reveal itself. It revealed itself to him and was talking to him when he escaped.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were always in there.
Right.
So I guess why not talk to it and just say, what do you want? How can we work together?
Yeah.
Take me to your leader.
I would like to speak to Mirror President. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he's in there somewhere. There's a mirror image for everybody.
That's right.
So,
The Mirror Lord.
like, was there a mirror Whitey in there? Was he white? Was his name Blackie?
I don't know. I mean, I hope so.
Now I have to know. How far does this mirror image reversal go? I need to know.
Is this an inverted mirror as well? Well, I mean, I guess they're all inverted, but is it color inversion? Never mind.
Is there heart on the other side?
Ooh, interesting.
Because like the hair part was reversed, the hand dominant hand was reversed.
Yeah.
So does that mean like now when Noah goes to the doctor, they're like, what the fuck's up with this kid? Like his heartbeat like is on the other side. And now he's science. Now they've got him, dissected.
Yeah.
But it's okay because it's mirror image Noah, not real Noah.
Yeah.
Are the organs reversed? It has to be, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it has to be. It's not just the clothing and earrings and such. So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, because his dominant hand reversed. So it's like a full reverse. Ooh.
He's involved in a crime. The bullet went straight through his heart, but he's fine. I don't understand.
It went straight to his heart. Interesting. So, well, and maybe that's why the grandparents are sad because that happened to like one of their other kids. And then that kid got taken into science and they never saw them again.
Ooh.
And there has to be more than one way into the mirror world.
Right. I mean, presumably so, yes.
So other than, because the mirror world exists with or without the portals. So then does that mean there are other like mirror portals like that or different versions of it? Or is every mirror potentially a portal? That one just have magic on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Or is the light switch magic? I don't know. Something.
Yeah, was it the light?
Could they just change the bulb and use it as a regular mirror?
No, because when the mirror broke, when he
you're right.
shattered the
Yeah.
mirror, the souls got sucked in. So the light was like neither here nor there.
Hmm.
I mean, it was part of it. It's like a whole organism.
It's a package deal. Is the mirror sentient?
That's what I was about to say. Oh my gosh. Are we the same person, Gary?
Are we mirror images of each other? I've never told you my heart's on the right side.
Well, now we know. Yep. My heart's on the right side. That explains a lot.
Yep.
That explains nothing.
Explains
like if it was on the right side, what would that even do? Well, now that explains all your quirks. I don't know. So has anyone done Goosebumps audiobooks for internet radio? Do we know, or is it just YouTube?
I don't think so.
Because I used to listen to, because I'm so like old school like that. I'm an old soul.
Correct.
When I was at work, I used to listen to the old internet radio program, or not internet, the old radio programs that are now on the internet, and those were fun because they were back from back in the, I don't know, I want to say the 40s or 50s, but I could be wrong. It could be older than that.
Yeah.
But they were fun. They were freaky. So I wonder if someone has done that with Goosebumps.
Yeah, I did a deep dive with a lot of the old radio shows too. It's wild.
I love the old radio shows. Now, of course, I did like the spooky ones. So there's some really good old horror ones out there, by the way. Nice. Yeah. Decent.
I mostly did comedy. Because
I'm horror queen.
And I'm comedy boy.
I feel like those are superhero names, comedy boy and horror queen.
The horror goddess. Of horror queen and comedy boy.
I'm the gore goddess.
Gore goddess. Ooh.
Ooh, I like that. Comedy boy and gore goddess.
You got it.
Yes. The adventures of what they do, which is kind of funny because if we approach this mirror, you would be the one that would pull it and not me. It's because I watch horror. I know better.
Mm-hmm. And I make impulsive decisions.
It's that slapstick comedy. I make impulsive decisions. I mean, it depends on the situation. I make impulsive shopping decisions.
Also guilty.
But when it comes to my life,
yes,
probably not going to pull the switch. I would pull it on accident, I'm sure. Like if I let's be honest. If I go to a mirror in my attic that I find, my first thought is not going to be, I wonder if I turn invisible. I wonder if it's a magic mirror. Just like, oh, this is cool. Right. Turn the light on to see if it works. And, but.
You fall off an invisible cliff.
Of course. As one does when you find a magic mirror.
Of course.
So I feel like that'd be the only way that would happen. But if I knew it was a magic mirror, hell no. No freaky mirror shenanigans for me. It's not a thing. I won't do it. Don't do it, kids. Say no to peer pressure.
That's right. And this is why we're a good team, because I would try it and then you would save my ass and then we'd be good.
And then I break the mirror.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be upset about it.
You'd be like, wow, thank you for breaking the mirror and saving my ass.
I got to go invisible for 30 seconds. Check that off my to-do list.
Your to-do list. It's your bingo card list for this year. Go invisible for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Done and done.
No more, no less.
And mine will be save your friend's ass from being a dumbass and going invisible for 30 seconds.
Well, as long as we're both hitting goals.
That's what counts. You're like, but don't call me a dumbass. That's mean.
It's fine.
No, it wouldn't be dumbass. Impulsive ass?
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Sure, why not?
Old impulsive ass Gary, they call me.
So as we do when we have a book and a corresponding TV episode, we discuss or give our final thoughts in terms of which we would recommend over the other. So for me, obviously I'm going to go with the book over the TV episode. And I would even go so far as to say, if you don't have time, feel free to just skip the episode.
Yep. And I'm going to mirror what you just said.
Ah, well played. Woo!
Thank you. But I agree. This is honestly, to take it a step farther, I think this might be my favorite book to date in the series.
I'm actually going to have to agree with you to an extent. I'm still always going to have a fond spot in my heart for Welcome to Dead House, but I would say this one, in terms of tension, definitely has it more for me.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't know. Welcome to Dead House will always be very special to me too. So it would be fun. I know we're not like rating these at the end of every episode, but it would be fun at the end to figure out like what's the best one.
Now, what's the worst one so far?
So far?
Yeah, let's be dicks, mere dicks for a moment.
Always down.
Or I don't want to say worse because each one it's been fine. So which one do you think though is probably like the weakest for you? Only 6 books in.
It's kind of a tie between Monster Blood and the Mummy one. I think the Mummy one might be my least favorite.
We read one about mummies? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's not actually about mummies, really. It's about...
It's about kidnapping.
Yes.
Okay. I have to think about what we've read so far. Okay, for me, I would say probably the weakest one so far has been probably The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. That just felt more of like a kidnapping Indiana Jones adventure versus actual spooky Goosebumps vibes.
Yeah.
It didn't really get spooky Goosebumps until the end, and that was just like a brief moment in the entire book. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, props to him for trying something different, but at the same time,
Yeah.
It didn't really work.
It didn't. I think that was like probably a rush book for him.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have reached the point where he starts releasing a book a month, I think. So I hope that they don't all have rushed endings. Time will tell.
Yes. And speaking of reaching the point of books a month, what is the next book that we'll be talking about, Gary?
We will be talking about Night of the Living Dummy.
Ooh, featuring Slappy. Slappy
Mr.
the Happy
Slappy.
Dummy. Now, I'm going to preface this when it comes to horror, when it comes to books, including this. I am not a fan of dolls, and that's not a I'm scared of dolls thing. It is very hard for me to take dolls seriously.
Mhm.
So when I was younger, this book just did not land for me because I'm like, really? It's a doll. We'll see how it goes when I reread it. We're going to reread it. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to talk about it because a lot of people love Sloppy. He's on shirts. He's on lunchboxes. A lot of people like the ventriloquist little smartass dummy. We'll see how I receive it now as an adult.
Yes, I was never really a big fan of the Night of the Living Dummy stories either, so we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Funny how, as kids or when we were younger and we read this, we're like, yeah, not our thing. It's going to be interesting to see as adults when we revisit it what we feel about it.
Correct.
I can't wait to rip it to shreds. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Watch, I'm probably going to love it, and I'll be wearing like a Sloppy t-shirt when we record. All right, ending. Here we go. We're like a bunch of chuckle butts today. I like it. It's fun. All right. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to Listeners Beware, a podcast about all things Goosebumps. Are you looking for more spooky podcast content? Check out 3 Haunted Podcast, where Ashley and friends talk about all the things to give you goosebumps.
Damn, you're good at that. And if you want something, fuck, I'm not. And if you want something that's nostalgic but not quite as spooky, check me out at the Wax Nostalgic Network. Wherever.
Oh, they're checking you out.
Ooh, thank you. Wherever podcasts and YouTube videos are available.
Until next time.
Yeah. Just without the question mark.
Until next time, you Goosebumpies. We gotta come up with a name for people that like Goosebumps.
You Goosebumpies.
I'm trying to think. Until next time, you Goosebump goblins.
That works. I love
I don't
alliteration.
know. It'll be a thing.
I love alliteration, so you Goosebump.
You goose goblins.
You goose.
It's a work in progress.
you goose heads. Goose heads.
You goose heads. That's it. I'm cutting. You goose heads.
Let me put a clap in there just to be.
He got the clap.
I got the. I didn't finish that statement. So
I noticed you
have
stopped yourself. That was good. You're just, never mind. No, not putting that out there.
It's one of those, yeah, right. It's on the record.
Don't speak it out into the world.
The face of recollection. All right. Or realization, I mean.
You have recollection of having the glass. Oh, no.
No.
No, I'd be April. I'd say, nah. Okay. I'm good, guys.
Fair
Would
enough.
you? You totally pull it.
I'd totally pull it, yeah. Yeah. I mean, well.
Ayo.
I didn't mean to give it away so early.
Yeah. You're kind of a little easy pants like that.
Excuse
That's how you got clap. Look, I brought it back full circle.
Full circle. And I never much cared for the Night of the Living. I was trying to get through that without burping. I'm sorry.
I heard no burp.
Well, it's because I choked on it.
Dummy got your tongue.